Introduction to Logic. Welcome to our Introduction to Logic. Logic is a foundational tool in critical thinking, giving us guidelines for creating and assessing arguments. In this lecture, we'll cover 3 types of reasoning: deductive, inductive, and abductive. Each type has a unique way of determining how well premises support a conclusion, which is key for making strong, persuasive arguments. Now that we've introduced the key role of logic in evaluating arguments, let's delve deeper into how arguments are assessed. Logical strength determines how well premises support a conclusion, whether with certainty or probability. This foundation is critical to understanding the differences between deductive, inductive, and abductive reasoning. Logical strength. Logical strength assesses how well the premises support the conclusion. Deductive arguments provide certainty. For instance, if all firefighters drive red trucks and Jake is a firefighter, we conclude Jake drives a red truck. Inductive arguments are different, giving probable rather than certain conclusions, as in a survey finding that 70% of employees prefer remote work. Well, we can likely conclude most employees do. Understanding logical strength leads us to the first type of reasoning: deductive reasoning. Unlike other forms, deductive reasoning guarantees the truth of its conclusions if its premises are true, making it a powerful tool for logical argumentation. Deductive reasoning. Deductive reasoning uses logical structure to ensure a conclusion follows from premises. For example, if being under 18 means you're legally a minor, and minors cannot be sued, then under 18s can't be sued. This structure guarantees the conclusion if the premises are true. To harness the full potential of deductive reasoning, we need to explore specific argument forms that ensure logical consistency. These forms, such as modus ponens and modus tollens, provide clear structures that help us draw valid conclusions with certainty. Valid deductive argument forms. Deductive reasoning has specific forms that ensure logical strength. Affirming the antecedent, also known as modus ponens, is a logical structure where if a condition is true, then a specific outcome must also be true. This argument form follows a simple structure. If A, then B. A is true, therefore B is true. The example here is, if it's raining, the ground will be wet. Since we know it is indeed raining, we can confidently conclude that the ground must be wet. This form of reasoning is straightforward and allows us to make certain conclusions based on known facts. Denying the consequent, also called modus tollens, is a logical form where if the result of a condition is false, then the original condition itself cannot be true. It goes as follows. If A, then B is not true. Therefore, A is not true. For instance, if someone is a doctor, they must have a medical license. If we find that this person doesn't have a medical license, we conclude that they cannot be a doctor. Modus tollens is particularly useful in eliminating possibilities by showing that if the consequence is untrue, the cause must also be untrue. The chain argument, or hypothetical syllogism, links multiple conditions in a sequence. It follows the structure: if A, then B; if B, then C; therefore, if A, then C. This form of argument allows us to connect ideas in a chain-like manner to reach a final conclusion. In the example provided, if you exercise, you'll be healthier. If you're healthier, you'll have more energy. Therefore, if you exercise, you'll have more energy. This argument uses a chain of conditions to link the original action, exercising, to the ultimate result of having more energy, creating a logical flow from the start to the conclusion. A disjunctive syllogism is a logical form where one of 2 mutually exclusive options is true, and if we know that one option is false, we can conclude that the other must be true. Its structure is either A or B, not B, therefore A. For example, either I'll cook tonight or we'll order takeout. We're not ordering takeout, therefore I'll cook tonight. In this case, we know we're not ordering takeout, so the only remaining option is that I'll cook. Disjunctive syllogisms are often helpful for making decisions when we have two clear, exclusive options. While deductive reasoning offers certainty, inductive reasoning takes a different approach by drawing probable conclusions based on patterns and observations. This shift in reasoning style allows us to make informed predictions even when absolute certainty isn't possible. Now, let's move to inductive reasoning. Inductive reasoning forms general conclusions from specific observations. With inductive generalization, we might find that 80% of surveyed people in a neighborhood own a car, concluding that a similar percentage in the whole city probably does. Statistical syllogism estimates probabilities, as in saying Lisa likely prefers online classes if 70% of students do. Moving from inductive reasoning's probabilistic nature, we come to abductive reasoning, which focuses on finding the best explanation for observed phenomena. This type of reasoning emphasizes simplicity and plausibility, making it a valuable tool for everyday decision-making. Abductive reasoning. Abductive reasoning seeks the best explanation, not a certain conclusion. If Tom and Sarah argued and then were seen chatting, we might conclude they made up, but other explanations are possible. Occam's razor guides us to choose the simplest explanation, often the most probable. In summary, logic helps us structure and evaluate arguments through different types of reasoning. Deductive arguments provide certainty, inductive arguments offer probability, and abductive reasoning seeks the best possible explanation. By understanding these forms, we can make stronger, more reliable arguments in everyday reasoning and decision-making. Having explored deductive, inductive, and abductive reasoning, we see how logic enables us to construct and evaluate arguments with varying degrees of certainty and explanation. By applying these methods, we can enhance our critical thinking and make well-informed decisions in any context. Introduction.